One thing that's been really beneficial for me during this transition, because it's a big change to go from the need to prioritize and operate with a true structure, with an optimal signal to noise ratio. And these are the three things I need to get done in the next 6 hours to meet this deadline, and having a ton of structure that is there by necessity to get my work done at the level that I wanted it done, and then to go and be there for my kids. Oh, you are at every moment trying to extract as much value from every second of the day as you can. And that requires a lot of structure and discipline. Being a stay-at-home mom, it it's all internal self-motivation and drive. And that is a switch that you have to navigate, turning on in a way that works for you and what your family's needs happen to be. I have approached my role as a mom and a wife with just as much seriousness and discipline as I did my job. And that has worked so well for me, and I'm still figuring it out. So right now I am, let's see, 7.5 months in, and I'm doing my best to, make progress each and every day, get closer to that optimal, structure that I want to be my very best for my family and for myself. I make that a priority every day, but I'm also giving myself some grace and not trying to, absolutely overstructure and go print out a performance review to my husband and my sons. But some element of that has been really, really good for me to kind of ease the transition and bring routine and structure and all of that stuff to my daily life in an environment where it's not absolutely necessary. But I am at my best with structure and goals and reflection. That's good for me. That's good for me. So I am working on creating a kind of weekly structure. Right now, I'm I'm releasing new episodes on Mondays. So I'm trying to batch certain categories of work just like we would in like operating model or org design in my management consulting career. I'm batching certain activities. I'm anticipating, how much time in a given week is this going to take me? How much time do I have for mother wife and for content and XYZ, and trying to do that in a very thoughtful way to make best use of my time and to maximize the hours that I have with my kids. On a typical day now, my son, who's in kindergarten, loves to ride the bus. Honestly, that's how we got him excited about his new school after we moved out of the house by 7 a.m. every weekday to walk down to the bus stop that's 2 blocks away from us and get him on the bus. And then I'm with my younger son until we leave the house at usually around 8 or 8:15 to go to his preschool. And then I need to pick up my older son each day by their bell rings at 1:45. But some days, based on his after school activities, I need to go and get our younger son first. So every day looks a little bit different. But I look at my weekly time kind of in aggregate and then parse out based on those buckets of work what I can do most effectively and efficiently in batches, what I can use AI for. So recipes, meal planning, my grocery lists, I have automated most of that stuff. It still absolutely takes some time, but I'm trying to get like as smart as I can at it so that then I'll have more time to devote to this, or time to research my oldest son just told me that he would like to be a conservationist. So, in addition to being a policeman and an army man, I said, "Honey, you can be all of those things. You can be more than one thing, and I hope that you are." So researching their interests or reading books on, again, how to be the best parent that I can be based on where my children are right now developmentally. So I'm trying to still absolutely make the most of my time so that then I can focus on things that either fill me up or allow me to be a better mom to my kids. I actually wanna go back to doing things that fill me up, because sometimes when you say, parenthood and being a mother is sacrificial, it absolutely is. It's it is and it should be, but it's not binary. That doesn't mean you sacrifice everything and you give everything, because you cannot you cannot pour from an empty cup. So to fill my cup, I do something every single day. I try to do it every day. I'm not perfect, so there's always exceptions, but I try every day to do something that fills me up, whether that's prayer and spending time with the Bible, or whether that's exercise, or whether it's reading a book, like just a fiction thriller novel, or taking a nap before I go and get my kids. I try to do something for myself for rest and to recharge my batteries and to make me happy every day. That was something that previously I simply didn't feel like I had the capacity to do. I was like, I can't do that." And it was not good for me. And now it is something that I consistently prioritize. And no matter what your situation is right now with your job, your kids, your marriage, if you can find a way to work in 20 minutes a day for yourself every day, or as many days as you can. I wish I had done a better job of that while I was still at work. Instead, I just did, okay, work, 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 work. I'm gonna get the most out of this day. I'm gonna give my team all that I can. I'm gonna give my clients all that I can, and then flip the switch and go and do the same thing with my kids. And I completely forgot about myself, and I figured, this is just a chapter that I need to endure. And I need to just suffer through this and just, you know, suck it up and you'll get through it. That was never the answer. And I should have prioritized myself in a more thoughtful way, because then I'm able to turn around and give more to my kids and to my husband when I am rested and happy and have my needs met. Of course, it's so much easier to say than to do. At the time, I came up with every rationalization that there was that I simply didn't have time for that. And I just wish I could go back and tell myself, even right now, if you're when you are in it and you are in the job and you're getting through day to day, you can find 20 minutes. Shared in the first episode, one of my big fears was around my marriage. And if I believe exactly what I said was I shared the fear specifically around, will my husband feel any differently about me if I don't have this big job, or if he doesn't perceive me as being successful and high achieving and us as this power couple. He is the best man I have ever met. And he is kind and thoughtful and selfless and hardworking. He's every quality that you want in a husband and a father to your children. But again, that nasty voice, that fear in my head wondered, will me setting he didn't meet and he didn't choose to marry a woman who didn't have this career. So will some part of him somewhere resent me for quitting my job? Those were the big ones that really, like, dug their claws in, and I wondered about. They brought me dread. My marriage has I feel that it has improved because everything is lighter. We no longer are carrying those 2 big careers, right? We're carrying 1 now. It has allowed him the mental and emotional energy to even to focus on his job with more clarity, to bring the best of himself to his job, because he doesn't have to. Everything else, as I mentioned, I said, "I got it." The house, the kids, our rental properties, the taxes, the bill payment, I was like, I will ask you for help when I need it, honey, but you focus on your job and for financially providing, okay? I'm gonna take everything else, and when we need to help each other, we are going to actively ask, okay? We're gonna ask, and we are gonna show up for each other proactively when and how we can. We are always serving each other. And now I feel like we have been able to introduce a deeper connection through this decision and kind of having he's primary on being the breadwinner, I'm primary on everything else, and then we're both secondary for each other and showing up and helping and serving because we have more capacity. We have more mental and emotional and actual time capacity to show up for each other. It's brought us closer. And I guess I'll have to have him on as a guest. I feel that we are both happier because we are able to focus. We have clarity on what we're doing any given day. We are able to be more thoughtful and intentional towards each other. We joke more, we laugh more, we spend more time together in the evenings and on the weekends. Everything to me feels like you can breathe and we can rest and it feels as though we are in the thrive phase now, and those nasty fears that I had in my head about what may happen, whether it was my marriage or the other fears that I had, none of them have come into play on this side of the choice. It has been an all around net positive for me, for him, for our children. It's the perfect fit right now for this chapter of our life.